You may be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, members of various constituencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this media briefing by His Excellency President Jacob Zuma on progress made thus far in Operation Phakisa, as well as plans ahead. Without much further ado, it gives me great pleasure to respectfully request His Excellency the President to address you. Your Excellency, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. Sanging nethuba ngisulama additional eyes amlona. Well, thank you very much, Director of the Program, the Director General in the Presidency, Ministers and Deputy Ministers who are present here, stakeholders from business, academia, labor, and senior officials, ladies and gentlemen of the media, my friends. Good day and welcome to this briefing on the progress made thus far in the implementation of our National Development Plan delivery methodology, Operation Phakisa. We launched Operation Phakisa last year, starting with the ocean economy and later unveiled the Ideal Clinic initiative. We are preparing to launch Operation Phakisa segments in mining and basic education. I announced that here that I would provide regular updates to the public of how the program is progressing. I will continue to do so, assisted by the line ministers in the various implementing departments. Operation Phakisa is derived from Malaysia's Big Fast results methodology, which that country used successfully to achieve rapid economic transformation. It also forms part of our 9-point plan to reignite growth and boost job creation, as announced in the State of the Nation address. The program brings together various sectors such as business, labor, academia, and government. They work together to develop delivery action plans in intensive work sessions called laboratories. The Ocean Economy Phakisa. On Ocean Economy Phakisa, a study conducted recently by the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University had quantified the value of our oceans. In the initial study in 2010, the oceans around South Africa were estimated to have a potential to contribute about 54 billion rand to the gross domestic product and an estimated 316,000 jobs. Further analysis undertaken in 2013 found that 9 sectors of South Africa's ocean economy could generate an estimated GDP contribution of 129 to 177 billion rand by 2033 and double the number of jobs estimated in 2010. The Oceans Economy Phakisa was launched in July last year with a focus on the following areas: marine transport and infrastructure led by the Department of Transport, offshore oil and gas led by the Department of Mineral Resources, agriculture led by the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, and marine protection services and ocean governance led by the Department of Environmental Affairs. The Oceans Laboratory phase took place in Durban from the 8th July to 15 August 2014. It focused on initiatives which are able to deliver significant impact within the next 5 years and beyond, and to lay the groundwork for sustained long-term growth, not only in the 4 priority areas, but also across the ocean economy as a whole. Selected initial short-term target initiatives were also designed to deliver results within 12 to 18 months. Opportunities are being explored in various areas, one being the repairing of rigs and the servicing of vessels. 30,000 vessels pass through South Africa's waters every year, and 13,000 dock in our ports every year, in our ports every year. South Africa only does maintenance on 5% of the vessels. In addition, of the 80 rigs in the Western Cape, only 4 are serviced per year. In addition, 300 million tons of cargo on foreign-owned vessels are shipped, and 1.2 million tons of liquid fuel passes along our coast annually. In this regard, significant investment is required in new port infrastructure, including rig repairs. The establishment of a small harbour development authority is thus necessary. the rehabilitation, upgrade, and redevelopment of some small harbors, as well as the identification and proclamation of new harbors and their integration with national coastal projects has begun in order to unlock the economic potential of our coastline. We have identified Gans Bay, Saldanha Bay, Straths Bay, Gordons Bay, and Lambert's Bay for rehabilitation and development. Don't worry about my Afrikaans. The bit that I heard I got from jail. And the jail Afrikaans is always not straight. A roadmap has also been developed for the proclamation of new harbors in the Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal. Ladies and gentlemen, the finalization of the Mineral Resources and Petroleum Development Amendment Bill, which is currently in the parliamentary process, is designed to also assist us to accelerate offshore oil and gas exploration. The aspiration of the Offshore Oil and Gas Exploration Focus Group of the Oceans Phakisa is the drilling of 30 exploration wells in 10 years. In their view, this would produce 370,000 barrels of oil and gas per day. If this is achieved, it would mean the creation of up to 130,000 jobs with an annual contribution to the GDP of $2.2 billion US, while reducing the dependence on oil and gas imports during the production phase. Work continues to explore opportunities in this sector further. Some projects have already commenced. A total of 9.2 billion rand is to be spent to develop Saldanha Bay as an oil and gas hub. The phased gas pipeline routes have also been identified or defined. In addition, environmental authorization has been approved for the Bergen fuel storage facility in the port of Cape Town. This is an investment of approximately 660 million rand, and construction will commence by the end of August 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, South African aquaculture, which is the industry that we have not participated so much in our country, is still emerging, and thus the production levels currently remain low. The team working on the aquaculture sector focus area believe that when interventions to grow the sector are implemented successfully, aquaculture projects will grow the sector's size from approximately 700 million rand today to almost 3 billion rand by 2019. However, the industry faces constraints such as the lack of infrastructure, including access roads and electricity. It also faces challenges such as the prolonged finalization of leases and the limited nature of the leases. In addition, the sector faces difficulties with obtaining environmental impact assessment authorization as well as funding for aquaculture projects and access to markets. All of these constraints are being addressed. With regard to legislative reform, the environmental impact assessment and biodiversity regulations have been amended. A basic assessment is now required instead of a full environmental impact assessment. This will certainly reduce the timeframes tremendously and ensure faster implementation. Furthermore, an interdepartmental authorization committee has been established in order to streamline application and authorization processes. The alien invasive species regulations have also been reviewed to accommodate the freshwater species of trout. In addition, the norms and standards for trout and abalone have been reviewed by the Department of Environmental Affairs. By the Department of the Environmental Affairs. Progress has also been made with regards to the attainment of leases. The Department of Public Works has awarded the first 5 leases, which are the following. 1, the Saldanha Bay Oyster Company at Pepper Bay Harbor in Saldanha Bay. 2, West Coast Growers at Pepper Bay Harbor in Saldanha Bay. 3, Emakulema Mussels, sapphire pearls, and Southern Atlantic Sea Farms joint venture at Saldanha Bay. Imbaza mussels, Blue Ocean mussels, and African olive joint venture at Pepper Bay Harbor in Saldanha Bay. 5, Doring Bay Department Trust at Hondek Bay. Correct, ne? That's very serious Afrikaans. These leases provide security of tenure in the harbors that the companies will be operating in. In the coming months, the Department of Public Works will be awarding more long-term leases for projects following approvals of applications through the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. With regards to marine protection and ocean governance, the fragmentation of the management of the ocean space poses a constraint to development. A host of departments and agencies are responsible for the management of certain activities within the oceans. This is exacerbated by the lack of comprehensive legislation and coordination, as well as the fact that all the role players are acting independently. As a solution, South Africa will implement an overarching integrated ocean governance framework for the sustainable growth of the ocean's economy. In this regard, a draft oceans management bill has been finalized. Furthermore, the legal drafting of the regulations and declaration notices for the 21 offshore marine protected areas has been completed, and consultations with relevant stakeholders has been conducted. The Department of Environmental Affairs and Science and Technology, through the National Research Foundation, has commenced a research program on marine protected areas and marine spatial planning. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Mereka Institute, has been appointed to establish a national oceans and coastal information system, and work has already begun. A draft water quality monitoring program has been developed, and an accredited facility for pollution monitoring will be established in the Eastern Cape. Ladies and gentlemen, we also want the coastal tourism sector to benefit from Operation Phakisa. In this regard, an analysis to determine the current and potential future contribution of coastal tourism to the non-urban coastal tourism economy will be undertaken. On Operation Phakisa with regards to mining, the mining sector is extremely strategic to the South African economy. Evidently, the mining sector is facing an acute challenge, partly as a result of the dramatic drop in commodity prices. An alarming number of companies are loss-making, and investment in exploration and extraction has dropped significantly. At current price, more than 40% of the country's platinum mining industry and 31% of the gold mining industry is loss-making. We need to work together to turn this around. The Mining Phakisa has the objective of building partnerships between government and key stakeholders in the mining sector so as to unlock investment and optimize the sector's positive developmental impacts on the economy and society. As part of the Mining Phakisa process, we continue to implement a comprehensive stakeholder consultation process with government, departments, the private sector, and labor. More than 30 consultations have been held with business associations, individual mining companies, trade unions, civil society organizations, and various government departments in preparation for the Phakisa. The actual Mining Phakisa laboratory will begin in October 2015. At this stage, 6 key themes or work streams have emerged for the Mining Phakisa lab and will require further consultations. This includes upstream linkages and capital equipment sector that supports the mining sector, win-win resolution on beneficiation of both bulk resources and precious metals, social and community development with a particular emphasis on housing, increasing exploration activities including enabling initiatives by the state such as more detailed geoscientific information, enhancing the research, development, and innovation cluster, and holistic modernization planning and implementation. Other cross-cutting areas will be integrated into the discussion of the lab. This includes the development of emerging miners, enhancing investment and infrastructure, as well as the rehabilitation interventions for mines and funding proposals. Ladies and gentlemen, the Operation Phakisa Ideal Clinic realization and maintenance was launched on the 18th November 2014. This Phakisa segment seeks to transform all our public sector clinics into ideal clinics which provide good quality care to all. Is a healthy facility that possesses the following characteristics. It opens on time in the morning according to its set operating hours and does not close until the last patient has been assisted, even if this is beyond the normal closing hours. It is staffed by healthcare providers who treat people with dignity and who observe the Batupili principles of access, consultation, courtesy, information, service standards, opens and transparency, redress and value for money. The Ideal Clinic will provide community-based health promotion and disease prevention programs in collaboration with the community. It is very clean, promotes hygiene, and takes all precautionary measures to prevent the spread of diseases. It has reasonable waiting times. Community members do not have to sacrifice their entire working day to seek health care. It provides a comprehensive package of good quality health services every day, and community members do not have to return on different days for different services. It has the basic necessities available, such as essential medicines. It refers people to higher levels of care timeously when this is required. It works together with the community it serves, with diverse stakeholders in promoting health and socio-economic development. The Ideal Clinic work streams have been looking at 8 areas, namely service delivery, waiting times, human resources, infrastructure, financial management, supply chain management, scaling up and sustainability, and institutional arrangements. Progress made thus far includes the implementation of the Central Chronic Medicine Dispensing and Distribution Program. This is a medicine distribution program for stable patients who do not need to see a doctor or a nurse, but are just coming to collect their monthly supply of medicine. Their supplies are delivered to them at pick-up points agreed to by both government and patients. As a result, a total of 210,840 patients who are stable and are on chronic medication no longer need to queue for repeat medication. The architectural designs for the Ideal Clinic have been finalized, which will be used in the building or refurbishment of Ideal Clinics using the same designs. 216 new clinics are going to be built. In 8 clinics, constructors are already on site. In OR Tambo district in the Eastern Cape, in another 8 constructors are ready to go on site. For an example, 5 in Vembe district in Limpopo, and 3 in Tambo, in Thabo Mufusanyane district in the Free State. One of the biggest complications arising from running the biggest antiretroviral treatment program in the world is the logistics of supplying medicines to all the clinics and hospitals. Sometimes some clinics will report a stock out of medicines when, in fact, our medicines are warehoused or warehouses are still full of medicine. This problem is being solved through special cell phone technology whereby nurses are able to use a specially supplied cell phone to scan the barcodes on the medicine bottles and packaging and learn immediately if there is stock out or not. This information is relayed electronically to the national, provincial, and district offices for urgent and appropriate action. A total of 1,200 clinics in our provinces already provide this service in KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and Gauteng. A plan is in place to roll out to the remaining 5 provinces. As part of service delivery, especially to pregnant women, a system called Mom Connect is being implemented, whereby pregnant women are registered with the Department of Health via cell phones so as to receive messages appropriate to their term of pregnancy. 455,126 mothers have been registered. 361 of them have lodged complaints, while 2,015 have sent in compliments. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past, the number of health professionals needed in the system were determined in terms of population figures, such as 1 doctor per 10,000 population. This system was found to be unhelpful. The World Health Organization came up with a new formula called the World Load Indicator of Staffing Need, which is a more scientific tool. This determination has been completed in all our clinics, and implementation is underway. As the above projects show, we can confidently say that the building of the ideal clinic for the public is on track. With regards to Operation Phakisa in basic education, the intention is to further improve the quality of basic education by introducing information communication technology into the delivery and management of education. Preliminary work has begun, and the Education Phakisa Lab process will begin in September, October this year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy with the progress made thus far with Operation Phakisa and look forward to the launch of the new segments. The implementation of Operation Phakisa and the big fast results methodology has certainly changed the way government conducts its business and introduced a new approach of syndication to resolve issues. The respective government departments are being forced to rid themselves from the silo mentality and work together towards a common goal. It has compelled government to engage with all stakeholders simultaneously to craft a vision and mechanism for unlocking the economic potential of South Africa's oceans and other sectors. We thank all our stakeholders for supporting this worthwhile project, which is changing the way government works for the betterment of society and to improve the quality of life of our people. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard the briefing by His Excellency the President. The procedure now is we'll move to the other side of this room, where you will have early lunch. And it is during that period that interactions among ourselves and yourselves as various stakeholders would then occur. We've got a number of ministers that I would love to introduce, Your Excellency Mr. President, who will lead these interactions, given the various roles they play in the various aspects of Operation Phakisa. Minister in the Presidency, Honorable Jeff Radebe, in whose department in the Presidency for Performance Monitoring and Evaluation, the overall responsibility for the methodology resides. Minister of Environmental Affairs, Honorable Edna Molewa, who is leading the Operation Phakisa responsible for the oceans. Minister of Mineral Resources, Honorable Ngwako Ramatlodi, who will lead the Operation Phakisa aspect dealing with mining. We've got Minister Tulas Ngesi, Minister of Public Works, who happens to find himself in almost all the Operation Phakisa aspects. It's going to be a challenge as to how he's going to split himself. Deputy Minister of Transport, Honorable Cindy Chikunga, is part of the ocean's economy. Phakisa. Deputy Minister Bulelani Makwanishe, Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises, is also in various of these Phakisa aspects, but currently in the oceans economy. Deputy Minister of Health, Honorable Joe Patla. Of course, the Department of Health under Minister Motsoaledi and Honorable Deputy Minister Joe Phatla are leading the aspect of Operation Phakisa dealing with the ideal clinic. We have apologies, Your Excellency, Mr. President, from various ministers due to work in Parliament. Minister Motsoaledi, I'm fully aware, has to talk to a bill in Parliament today. And several others are also talking to various bills in Parliament. So there will be interactions. We've got stakeholders from the business sector, from labor, from various companies, senior officials. Everyone is here, and we have to talk and ensure that we take Operation Phakisa to an ever higher level. The marching orders from His Excellency the President are very clear. Ours remains that of ensuring the realization of the directives issued by His Excellency the President. Without much further ado then, Mr. President, I will give you 1 minute. And I won't be far so that you're not alone.
No, I'm taking advantage because you're saying we have early lunch.
Yes.
I looked at my watch, and my watch is normally faster than others, and I realized it's very early. Now, if some had their breakfast late, they might have difficulties in attending. So I thought I should just stretch your minutes a little bit. No, what I wanted to say, Chair, is that this methodology does very important things to our country, or an important thing. Under normal circumstances, governments work on their own, the private sector on its own. What is expected from government is that they should create the enabling environment. Then business must come in. Whether the environment is enabling enough or not, or whether the private sector takes advantage of the environment, is always a debate out there which is not closer. These two, one stand waiting for the environment, the other one creates environment and waits for the private sector to take advantage. So whilst these two are important in the development of the country, coordination is not very visible. What Operation Phakisa does is to bring these two together so that they can share views in an environment which is not just a boardroom discussion one day, but in what we call laboratories, wherein ideas are given fully. And it does not just take government and business only, but it takes also academics who must participate. And it is also open to South Africans who have ideas about whatever. In other words, this methodology brings the country and people who make the country tick together. So no one can say, I've got good ideas and a vision, but I don't know what to do. So this opens a platform that we can all come in and work together. We could even, if we are in the private sector, realize that this environment is genuine. And we can even discuss more things, how to do this. I think it is an important thing because it takes what you could be calling the government of the people as it is supposed to be, but in the majority of cases it's never a government of the people, so to speak. It actually creates that situation that we work together. You feel you belong here. You don't come to the environment that has been enabled by government to say, where do I come in? You know exactly why this has been established or planned, where it is leading to. You can even begin to estimate your profits. One of the things we have not done in this country, for an example, is to use our ocean for economic activities. For some reason, I was once an MEC in one province. I used to say the day I leave government, the only place I will go to will be to the ocean because nobody is paying attention. There are many things. The simplest is shipping. You know, I discovered something which I took it for granted, having been around the world. I used to drive from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and then I will take a boat to Robben Island. I had a lot of things Robben Island did to me, so I wanted to go there to see it with my kids who never understood why I'm going to Robben Island. And I'll drive from Cape Town in what is called the Garden Route to Durban. Wonderful. And there used to be my fathers along there, Mbegi, Madiba, will go past, then greet with my kids and go. So one day I said, man, we've been driving too much. Let us take a boat from Cape Town to Durban. And I went around looking for where you buy the tickets. The tickets to where? From Cape Town to Durban. They said there's not a single boat going to Durban. I must tell you, I was shocked. Totally shocked. I said, man, do we understand our country? I actually realized that there's no boat, even between the biggest harbors, Durban and Richards Bay. You know, in other places, instead of going by road, the workers who work in Richards Bay could actually work in the morning with a boat and come back and sleep in Durban. It's too close. We are not utilizing our seas, our waters, totally. As a result, even the ones who are fishing, a lot of our fish is taken by other people. Because even that one, of course, it has a history as well. But all I'm saying, there is such an economy there that we have never attempted to look at. We are now saying time has come. This country is very rich. We've been here with gold, diamond, platinum, coal, whatever. There is just enough in the water as well, resources. So you could double or triple the richness of this country. I'm making this point because I'm saying we need to work together, not in competition, but in collaboration. How do we grow our economy? The opportunities are too much. Instead of fighting for small places, fighting about this little thing here and there, there's enough. What is in the sea that we have not discovered is just beyond anybody's imagination. Somebody, I don't know whether somebody was dreaming, even said, under the sea, there is water, huge water that we can have, because we are a water-scarce country. What I think this creates is that as the South Africans, we can work on our riches and develop our country and reach our country. I'm hoping that the ocean this time around, unlike the land, which for many years the resources were being taken and processed somewhere. We are going to create a variety of industries that will be able, this country will be abuzz with development. I just thought I should underline that point because it is important that we appreciate the potential that we have. As a country, we are blessed. We are blessed, and perhaps because I'm told mankind started here, so God concentrated what could make people live here. And we are the luckiest people. God is on our side in any way. Maybe you don't know this. I was told by a Ugandan that God lives in South Africa. I didn't know. It's true. Because I was appreciating Uganda. Beautiful Victoria Lake, everything, mountains, green. So I said, your country is very good. He says, oh, yes. So he says, you know why? I said, no. He says, no, because Uganda was the last thing that God made. He had a lot of extra material, which he did not know what to do with. So he was playing with it around and made it so beautiful. Is that so? He says, oh, yes. We were the last country, we were the last born. So I said, well, you are lucky. So he says, do you know what happened thereafter? When God finished? I said, no, I don't know. He said, well, he left, he went to stay in Cape Town. So God is in South Africa. What else?
With divine intervention, we shall succeed, Mr. President. Your Excellency, Mr. President, thank you very much for the emphasis on the methodology and its strengths. We have all embraced it. The esteemed guests who are here have participated in some of the labs, and those who have not as yet participated will experience the wonder that the President is talking about. It is truly amazing. It is truly amazing when we get together to create something out of what currently is nothing. So with that kind of collaboration, we will go very far. Your Excellency, I know your watch tends to move very fast. Mine moves slow. The average is the correct time. I would now like to request, with your permission, that we go to the second part, the interaction on the other side of this hall. I hope everything is set and ready. May I take this opportunity to request the House to rise as we take leave of His Excellency the President. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ministers and honorable and deputy ministers.